Urban legends and terrifying myths of all kinds seem to surface from all around the world as reports of strange, supernatural, paranormal, and extraterrestrial accounts spread through a town or region like wildfire. Some of these urban legends tend to never leave the region in which they first began, whereas others might make national headlines all around the world in their appearance. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be covering 5 strange urban legends that come from the country of Greenland and their strange origins. The Adamak Creature. Greenland is filled with a number of strange legends that date back centuries into the past surrounding the existence of ancient gods, native cultures and religions, as well as terrifying instances of shamanism that still exists in the region to this day. One of the strange urban legends surrounding such stories is that of the Adamak Creature. According to the ancient legends, the Adamak Creature is described as possessing a body similar to that of a human being, with its torso being entirely naked and described as being of an average build, but the similarities between the creature and ourselves quickly end there. Accounts detail that the creature only has 3 fingers and 3 toes on each limb. Its head from the neck up is described as appearing to be that of a dog's, with some claiming that the appearance is believed to be closer to that of an Arctic wolf. The creature's arms and legs are recounted as being completely blackened, as if its own limbs began to rot and take on the form of a darkened mush. Interestingly enough, shamans would often claim that the creature doesn't walk on the ground, but is instead forced to float above the ground in fear of its supernatural ability. Apparently, the Adamak Creature possesses the ability to cause anything that it touches to begin to rot and die. This includes causing flowers to blacken and die, people to age and wither in a matter of seconds, and even buildings to grow old and crumble under its touch. Today, strange stories surrounding the Adamak Creature exist in the remote parts of Greenland, with many claiming that, when hunting or journeying throughout these remote areas, they had spotted what appeared to be a floating figure with blackened limbs and the head of a wolf. Though no one has claimed to have encountered the creature up close, many have claimed that they can see the creature in the distance, watching them from far away. The existence of Project Iceworm. Project Iceworm is that of a modern-day urban legend surrounding the failed attempt by the United States government to develop secret nuclear launch sites in remote locations in the icest parts of Greenland. The idea was to place secret networked launch sites under the ice that would be unable to be spotted by counter-surveillance technologies due to consistently terrible weather conditions and remote geographical features. The codename was a top-secret reference hidden under the highest levels of clearance and declassified in recent years. To cover up the creation of these potential nuclear launch sites, the United States Army created a highly publicized project called Camp Century, whose goal was to merely study ice, different forms of ice, and the structural stability of glaciers. Interestingly enough, this obviously terrible lie worked for the governments of that region, and its true purposes in the project was known only by high military officials working under top-secret clearances. Designs for the secret network's military base outline incredible levels of detail when it came to the study and formation of a military base under the ice, but deemed the project to be too unsafe due to structural failings of glacial ice. This led to Project Iceworm becoming supposedly cancelled in 1966, and the idea of a nuclear launch site being formed under the ice completely abandoned by the US military. However, new leaked documents outline a possible cover-up of this finding. Diagrams and detailed blueprints give credence to the theory that the United States military and top-secret government officials built complex mobile nuclear power plants, mobile bases, and mobile launch sites that held the capability of moving with the rotating glaciers and could possibly exist in undisclosed locations in Greenland. Continuing down into the complex information released in these leaked documents, it was detailed that a secret mobile United States military base had already been constructed. The outlined information claimed that the launch complex floors would be 28 feet below that of the surface of the ice, and that the entire surface area of the secret military base exceeded 52,000 square miles in deep tunnels and underground facilities. this size being roughly 3 times the size of Denmark. Current information on the matter has been silenced, and future leaked documents have yet to arise. There is no information outside of this development, and the existence of such a base is still highly questioned. The Spirit of Nikaya. A part of the ancient legends of the Greenlandic Inuit people is that of the spirit known as the Spirit of Nikaya. Though it is difficult to get the unabridged version of the legend surrounding the spirit, according to what is known surrounding the stories of the legend taken from the account of the shamans in the modern day, the Spirit of Nikaya was that of the spirit of a man that had died near that of a small inlet of water cutting throughout the area from the ocean. According to the story, a man named Misawanianga, when travelling on a small boat through this very same inlet of water in an attempt to find a nearby town, he encountered the Spirit of Nikaya that had told the man that he was a spirit of the underworld of a man known as Nikaya that had passed away in the waters and was unable to find his way back into the town as well. This led to the man, known as Misawanianga, to assist the spirit of the underworld as they began to work together in the efforts to find a nearby town. Upon finding the town, the spirit thanks the man and was able to move on into peace for eternity, as the story describes. Interestingly enough, in the modern day, many people visiting Greenland of whom have often gone kayaking through these inlets of ocean water or even that of smaller rivers or creeks have often claimed to see a ghostly manifestation or a shadow on the banks of the water that appear to be pointing in different directions as to where the kayakers are travelling. This has led many to believe that perhaps the Spirit of Nikaya is still out there around these bodies of water, helping new travellers to find their way safely in and out of these dangerous waters. This has led many shamans to refer to Nikaya as the helping spirit of the underworld. Encounters with Quiver Talks. If you ever plan on visiting the country of Greenland, you may have noticed several stories and references to creatures known as Quiver Talks across tourism websites or even blog posts written by Greenlanders themselves. This is due to the fact that sightings of these spirits have grown in numbers as Greenlanders have journeyed more and more into the remote regions of their country on hunting trips and hiking expeditions. Given the fact that more than 90% of the population of Greenland is that of the Greenland Inuit tribe, the legend surrounding the existence of Quiver Talks continues to grow in the modern day as tellings and retellings of old stories mixed with new encounters seem to appear all across the country. Quiver Talks are believed to be the evil spirits that reside in the mountains of Greenland. The legend comes from a real-world history, as for many centuries, the Inuit people would often banish people from the community that they deemed to be too dangerous or crazy to live amongst their population. This meant that these individuals were forced to live across the iciest tundras of the area, journeying to faraway mountains and believed to slowly die in the cold of the area. Frighteningly enough, however, some of those that were banished had survived and continued to drift into insanity. This led to them quickly becoming cannibals, eating and devouring others who became banished or anyone from the tribes that had become lost in the region. This led to the myth of the Quiver Talks that claimed that after these cannibals passed away, their spirits continued to haunt the mountains as they took the form of monsters ready to devour anyone passing by. In the modern day, many Greenlanders claim to have seen Quiver Talks in the mountains, even coming across caves filled with human bones and the noise of something screaming deep inside. The mystery of the Octavius Ghostship. Back on the 11th of October in 1771, a whaling crew had come across what they had believed to be a ghost ship sailing nearby. The crew sailed closer to the ship and noticed a strange sight. The ship appeared to have been completely iced over, with its sails torn and icicles protruding from every direction of the ship. This led to the captain of the whaling ship to order a boarding party to journey onto the ship and to assess the situation of what had occurred. It was at this point that the whaling crew became incredibly frightened. Upon boarding the ship, they described an impossible to understand sight as they realized that every crew member of the frozen ship was still on board, seemingly frozen in place. Their bodies were not in positions commonly seen when examining people of whom froze to death, as they appeared to have been frozen in the middle of their activities. Even the captain of the ship appeared to have frozen in the middle of writing down a journal entry with a pen in hand. As the boarding party continued searching the ship, they became increasingly frightened and so quickly tried to grab the logbooks written by the ship's captain, only to later realize the middle of the logbook had frozen solid and fallen out, leaving only the first log entry and the last log entry for researchers to piece together what had happened. According to the logs, the ship had been stuck in the ice of the Arctic, leading researchers to believe that, somehow, the ship must have become dislodged and floated on freely, though how it would end up near the shores of Greenland will never be understood. But what do you all think of these strange and almost supernatural urban legends floating around the country of Greenland? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.